Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Krista So Crafty. So I was gifted a bag full of rope. It's probably about the size of my pinky. I don't even know how big, maybe quarter inch, half inch maybe. Anyways, I was gifted a bag of this and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it, and I can never seem to throw anything away. So I got digging around in my craft room and I came across just a piece of wood. So what I did is I took this piece of wood and I took some jute cording that I picked up at the dollar store, and I first, with a pencil, wrote these words out: live, love, laugh. Used the jute cording for that, and then I used the rope, and it's all just hot glued on. I just wrapped it around there, and I did put a little hanger on the back so I can hang it up in my craft room. And this little thing here, this little flowerette, I made that. And I do have a tutorial to show you how to make the burlap ribbon flowers, which is this. So I will list that down below. But yes, so this is what we're going to be making today. It doesn't have to be like this. You can just use your imagination, use the materials you have on hand. That's what I did. So if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below, and happy crafting! Hi everybody. So today I'm going to make a sign to hang up in my craft room. I've just taken a piece of wood, just a piece of wood, and I wrote live, love, and laugh. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this jute cording that I got from the Dollar Tree. There's 3 yards of it. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough to do this. And yeah, I'm just going to glue it down over top and see if I can write these words out using the jute cord. And then once I'm done, I'm going to take some of this bigger rope that I was gifted. I have a whole bunch of this, and I'm going to go around and just kind of make a frame. So let's get started. All right, so I don't know if you can see, I've written live, love, and laugh on there. And I'm just going to take some hot glue, just a little bit. I wish I had one of those glue guns that has the little tiny nozzle on it, but I don't, so I'm going to use this and hopefully it will work. Okay, so just going to wrap this around here, and I'm going to try to keep my cord twisted, because on jute, if you look, I don't know if you can see that, it's tightly wound together. So I'm going to try my darndest to keep that wind in there. All right, let's see if I can do this. And of course I'm doing it upside down so you can see what it is I'm doing. And wind it around here and do that. And I'm just going to keep going around. Now as far as the letter I, I'm just going to come back later and put a little dot of jute, or I don't know, maybe I'll use a little rhinestone or something. I don't know. I will see when I get there. Okay, so I'm just winding this around. Just put a little bit of glue on the letters. Okay, and I'm just going around and tracing those with the jute cord. Just going to squeeze that together and wind that around here for the V. Pushing it down to make sure it's getting stuck in that glue. And I don't want to use too much glue, because you all know with glue it tends to migrate. So I'm just using a little bit of glue. do the E here. Get that stuck in the glue. And around to make the top. And around. There. I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out. Just going to give that a little snip real close to the glue. Make sure that that end is stuck in the glue. Okay, well that's one word done. Of course I got glue strings everywhere and all over me. All right, so now what I did when I started this one is I just put a little bit of glue on the end of here and just let it cool a little bit. And then I just took my finger and carefully wound it around just to kind of seal off that end so it doesn't come apart and fray on me a whole bunch. Just got some threads there, so I'll cut those off. All right, so now we're going to start with love. So I'll come around and go down and around, do my little loop. I think that's good. So let's do this again. Let's try this again. So get it stuck in there. Try not to burn yourself on the hot glue. Wrap this around so I can get my little loop on my L. Push that down into the glue. And get my, I'll turn this here like this, and I think you'll be able to see it a little better. Now, this O is going to be interesting. I'm trying to think how I write an O. Isn't that funny? How many times do you write the letter O, but yet you're not sure how to do it when you're using a glue gun? All right, so I'm going to stick this in here and come up and around. I might have to cut it and start again just because, oh actually no, I'll just do a double loop there. I think I went backwards. I think I should if I would have went that way. Oh well. You know what? I think I am going to just give that a little snip. And put a little bit of glue here. And get that stuck in there. Where's my little silicone finger? It's a really good time to use one of these if you have it. Save your fingers from getting glue and burnt. And I just put a little bit on that end just to hold it in place there. Strings out of there. So now I'm going to start here and come out and do my V. So again, I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the end there, let it cool a little bit, and just kind of work it around, seal off that end. Perfect. All right. So let's get some glue going in here and coming up and over to where the V is going to start. And get that in there so it kind of makes that little loop-de-loop of the O. There, just like that. I think that'll be okay. Of course, there's glue strings everywhere. And now I'm going to come down this way. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. Down this way and then back up to the top of the V. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a pinch to make the corner. And come around and hold that in place. I'm sorry if you can't see, sorry. Flip it around here and make that V shape. And again, I'm just pushing this down into the glue, making sure it's all stuck. And now I'm going to make the E. Do my little loop there, and down and around. Okay, so I'll take that off for a second. So I'm just going to pinch this down in here again, so I can start making the little loop, the little loopy part on the E, and bring it around. And just bring it around and finish off. Oh, when I put my glue on too early, it's already dried, so I'm going to see if I can't pick that off. It's the thing with hot glue, you got to be quick. All right, let's see if I can get that off. There, it's coming off. All right, so let's try that again. So I'll put the little glue and around and up. And there. I think I need one of these little silicone fingers on each one of my pointer fingers. I tend to use a lot, both my fingers, to do this. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off right near where that glue ended and stick that down in the glue and make sure it's all good. Okay. All right, so now we just have the word laugh to do. Excuse me. All right, so we'll start with this again. A little bit of glue on the end. And just kind of twirl it around so that those fibers are stuck together. If you get any of these little stringy stuff, just clip them off. And now we can start doing the word love. Okay, so up and around and down and around. Get that stuck in there. It's on this finger this time. And in here. You know, I do have 3 of these little silicone fingers. I'm going to have to dig another one out, I can tell. All right, so bring that around there to make the loop. Now we're going to make the word up into the letter A. So I'm going to go here. Oh, isn't that silly? I'm doing it again. I'm backwards. I have to. So coming around to here. So bring that down there and bring this up and around. Now I'm just going to let that sit for a second just so it can set up so I don't pull it loose. And then I'm going to loop back and come back up and go like that. Again, it's so funny, you know, I'm trying to do this so that you can, so it's right for you, but then it's backwards for me, and I'm very much a visual person. So, all right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back around the A, this part of the A again, and come around and then back up. So just squeezing those together and get them stuck right beside each other. So hopefully it doesn't look real thick. And around. So right there. Yes, right there. All right, so again, I'm going to let that sit for just a second so it sets up a bit, and so that when I come back down and around to go to the letter U, it doesn't pull out of the glue. All right, so put a little bit and run it down and up. All right, so turn this so hopefully you can see. Just, you know, maybe a pair of tweezers or some sort of like a stiletto or something might work well on that as well. Of course, nothing plastic because it's really going to stick to that glue. Okay, so there's that. I think that looks all right. Squeeze those together. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to put a little dab of glue just down the side here. Again, because I got a loop down and then go back up here. So bend this over and make a, not a point, but a join up there, I guess, or a bend, I should say. Around and like that. Get glue in there. Okay, and again, I'll just let that sit and set up a little bit so it's all good. And then bring my glue down this side here so I can go over to the G, and then the G is another bit of a tough one. It's kind of like the letter A. You got to go down one side and then, or up one side and then down the same side. Well, that's how I make my letter G's, is I go up like that and then around and then do my little loop-de-loop. So I'm going to let that set so it stays where I want it. Of course, I got glue all over the place. So again, I'm going to come back and around this way. And up and do a loop to come down. Now I'll finish the bottom of the G in a second here. So I'm going to run it back down the same side again and around this way. Get it stuck in the glue there. I'm gonna end up with glue all over my fingernails, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so now we just need to come around and do the loop, and then we can go back up and do the letter H. So we need to get some more glue, get another glue stick, and I'm going to run a little bit of glue down the side of the G, and then I'm going to do my loop right like that to meet up with the H. Okay, so again we twist it over, put that bend in it, get it stuck in the glue, come around and do the loop and start our way up for the letter H. Squeeze those together so we don't have a gap in between on the G there. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue up, so I got to think about this. So I got to do my loop first and then the straight part coming down. it in that glue, get it stuck in there, come down here. And oops. And then I'm going to come up this side and do the rest of the letter H coming out there. Alright, so I need to turn it this way, sorry, for a second. Get that pinched in there like that. And again, you want it to be as close to the straight part of the H as you can. This is getting all twisted up on me here. And bring it down and loop it around, and the rest of the H comes out the end, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to put my silicone finger on here for a minute and just squeeze this all together and get some of this excess glue spread around or off there. There we go. And again, I'm just going to cut off a little tail. And it didn't stick, so just going to put a little glue here. And stick that tail in there, making sure it's all stuck in there. All right, I think we're going good here. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Of course, it's still got glue strings and everywhere, and of course I will pick those off as we go. So the last thing I need to do, as far as the words go, is to put a little dot here. So, what do you think? I don't know. Just gonna take a little snippet, and I mean a little snippet. I don't even know if you can see that. It's just a little snippet. I'm going to put a dot above the eye, and hopefully, without burning myself, stick that in there. Oh, strings everywhere. Stick that together. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that's kind of cool. All right, so then I guess my next step will be to add the border around this. So like I said, what I'm going to do is use this cording. It fell on the floor, sorry. And I'm just gonna glue some cording all the way around. So let me get some of this mess cleaned up and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. Here I'm back again, and I have this rope that was gifted to me, so I'm going to use that to make a frame, so to speak. So I'm going to do the same thing with this because this really frays out. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put just a little bit kind of on the inside, just a little bit like that. Use my little finger thing here and just kind of, well, not even using the finger thing, just let it cool a little bit and then you can roll it around and to seal off that end a bit. So this rope that I have is cut into pieces that is probably, I don't know, 3 feet long. So I'm going to have to do mine in sections. So I'm going to glue both ends so that it doesn't fray on me. Get some glue in there, around there. You don't need a whole bunch. Let it cool a little bit, and then just kind of twist it around and make it so that the ends don't come apart. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just get rid of those little stringy things that tend to come off on the ends when you do that. All right, so I'm going to start on the bottom, in the middle, right about here, and again I'm just going to glue it. So I'm going to run a bead of glue just to get this started. So I'm going to hold it in place, and what I'm doing is I'm making the rope flush with the edge of my board. So just right here, making it flush. And I have to turn my board around so I can see what I'm doing. I'm right-handed, so. And then I'm just going to run some glue to the corner. And again, you want to keep your rope twisted so you don't lose any of your twists in it. And again, I'm just making sure that it's running flush along the base, along the bottom, I guess. And then once I get to the corner, I'm just going to turn it and keep going up the side. And I'm just going to do little sections at a time. I don't want my glue to cool off and dry on me. There we go. Just keep going around like this. Oh, I want that to come down to a bit more of a point, so I'm just going to pull it down while the glue is still pliable. I want it kind of a point. Well, not a point, but I want the corner. Okay, and we'll just keep going around. And whip this down. Glue everywhere. And go up into the corner. And I'm going to just put a little around that corner just to make sure I can get all the way around and get that corner in there. Just push that rope down into the glue, make sure it's going to stick in there. Glue off my fingers. And my rope is kind of see how it's kind of coming apart here? I'm just going to give it a little bit of a twist when I lay it down next. And I think that will be just fine. So again, a little bit of glue, give it a little bit of twist, and stick it down into that glue right along the edge. Right along the edge. Okay. And this is all I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to do this all the way around. Go around the corner. And I do put a little bit more glue in the corner just because you got it going on that bend. You want it to stick. So get your corner going, make sure you're still twisted. Lots to keep track of while we're doing this, but it's going to look great in the end. And, oops, I need another glue stick. Stick that down into the glue. Now with this, I mean, you don't have to do the live, love, and laugh. Oops. You can put just about anything you want on there, anything you can think of. You could put your family name, you could do, you know, let's say your last name was Smith, and then do the EST, and the year you got married, or the year you bought your house. You could do something like this if you have a cottage. That would be so cute. You know, I don't even know. Just use your imagination. Just think outside the box. Think, you know, what would be meaningful for you, I guess. Get some of this glue off my fingers. All right, so here I am coming back to where I started. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the beaded glue up to there, because I think I want to do a couple rows of this, not just a single row. So I think I want to do a couple rows. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this, but instead of being straight on top of it, I'm just going to back it up a little bit so you can see the bottom rope once I glue this piece on. Well, let's try it out and see. So I'm running the beaded glue kind of on the edge of the bottom rope. And then I'm just going to put this so it's kind of on a bit of an angle. Now I might have to be a little bit more patient on this and not go too fast so that it stays on an outward angle. Okay, so let's go up here to this corner. And again, I'm going to go around the corner in one kind of swoop. Okay, so stick this on here, kind of get it to go square, get my rope over here. Yeah, and of course you've got glue strings everywhere. Yeah, I think that's going to be cute. I think that's going to look nice. So I'm just going to continue along. A little bit of glue. Take your rope. Don't pull on it. You don't want to pull it because you have the chance of unsticking it back here. So just a little bit at a time. You want it snug but not tight so that you're not pulling it apart. And we'll just keep going around. That little bit of glue on the edge, not in the middle of the rope, but just on the edge. And stick it down there. And try to do it so that your glue isn't showing, especially from the front. It might show from the back, but nobody's going to be looking at the back of it. So now I'm coming up to the corner here. Go around the corner. Gotta keep that rope coiled, I guess is the right term. Keep it all wrapped up there. Okay, and I'm just going to give my rope a twist here. We'll continue on down here, across the top. And lay that rope right along that bead of glue. I'm hoping you can see how that's turning out. It's kind of on a bevel, I guess, beveled edge to it. And just keep going. Like I was saying, there's so many things you could do with this. You know, if you have some rope laying around, or I'm sure you can buy it at like hardware stores and stuff, but you never know. Maybe your husband's got some rope hanging out in his garage that he does need. There's always that possibility, right? I mean, if he's not using it, you might as well. So again, I'm going to come around this corner. And just like that. And I'm kind of squishing it together into the other rope, but not real hard because I don't want it flat. I don't want it to lose its rope shape. So I'm just making sure that the fibers are sticking together so that when you hang it up, it's not going to fall apart on you. So here we go again. Get those fibers, the glue into those fibers of the rope. And work this down here. And around that corner. Like that. And so here I am coming back up to my bottom where everything has kind of been meeting and where I started and where I've overlapped. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I don't have enough to go around one more row, which I do want to do, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off. Now, if you're going to join a piece, my suggestion is to cut it on an angle. If you cut it straight like this, then you're going to end up with a big, with a big kind of a bump here. If you take it and you cut it on an angle, of course, it helps to have scissors that are sharp. Then what you can do is when you cut that angle, you can continue working it, and then where it's angled, it kind of makes like a bevel, so it flattens out. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to glue that down, and then I'm going to get another piece of rope and continue on from where that left off. See, so do this. Now I am going to put my little finger back on here so I don't burn myself. And see how that see how it just kind of bevels into it, and it makes it less noticeable, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this on an angle, like that. And then I'm going to glue some stuff out of the way here. I'm going to start my glue where that bevel was on the one that we just put down. Okay. Again, I'm going to put my silicone finger on, and where I cut it on that angle is where I'm going to lay it down here. So I'm hoping by doing that, that it will be less noticeable that I joined a piece on. Worst case scenario, you know what, you can always attach something on there. You could put a flower or a seashell, and I may still do that. All right, so let's keep going. So I'm just going to go all the way around. I'm going to continue all the way around, and I will meet you back up here, and we'll go on to the next part. Okay, so here I am. I'm coming up to where I joined this piece, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Take my scissors, going to kind of line it up, cut it on a bit of an angle, and then I'm just going to take a bead of glue and run it up there, just enough so that I can tie in this piece. Put my little silicone finger on. And there we have our little sign. I'm actually quite happy with how this is turning out. So again, I mean, if you can't get your joins, I guess, to line up, don't get too concerned about it. It's a piece of artwork. It's a piece of you. I'm actually quite happy with that. That's really cute. So I think I am going to add a little flower down here. Now this is another little burlap ribbon that I made into a flower. And I might, maybe, I don't know, maybe something up there. Okay, I need to turn it around so I can see here. I've got a couple. I could put a couple on there. I don't know. See, I also did one that has a little flower and a butterfly, and then this one that has the little pearl beads on it. I don't know. I think I kind of like it up there. Yeah. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put it right up there. So put a dollop of glue, and just to make sure. Ow! Make sure you don't put your glue gun down where your hand's going to touch it, because it's kind of hot. Okay, I'm just sticking that in there. I don't want it flat. I think I want it kind of like that. there you go. What do you guys think? Do you think it needs more flowers? Do you think it needs anything else? Make a comment below and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So, if you decide you want to try something like this, use your imagination. Like I said, you can do just about anything with this. The jute cord I bought it at the Dollar Tree. Rope, if your husband doesn't have any in his garage, go down to your local hardware store and see if you can buy just a small package of it. I probably used maybe 4 or 5 feet maybe to do 3 wraps around this. You can always do more, you can do less. Yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, and happy crafting. Again, if you make something using this method, please share it with me on my Facebook page, Krista's So Crafty. Until next time, happy crafting.